Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Township Committee. It really is an extreme honor to be here today, and this is really bittersweet for me. Within a week, I will be facing mandatory retirement from the police department. Don't all the officers clap at once now. But we're leaving the police department in excellent hands with Captain soon-to-be Chief Meyer, 30-year veteran, brought over to administration, I believe, like 4 or 5 years ago. I've mentored Greg, and he'll do an excellent job. I have every confidence in him. So the sweet part is that with my retirement, we're promoting 3 captains, 3 lieutenants, and a sergeant, and that's what it takes to replace me. And so, before I continue, I would just ask if we could have a moment of silence for police officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice, most recently in Dallas, Texas, and Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and for our own fallen officers here in Lakewood, notably Hartley Richter back in 1947, William Nietzsche Pressler 6 months after I became chief in 2007, and also for Chris Matlos in January of 2011. So if you would, just a moment of silence to remember these officers so they're never forgotten. Thank you very much. At this time, these officers, with the exception of Captain Meyer, who will be sworn in when I retire, they have already been sworn in, but tonight is for the presentation of the badges to the officers. So I will be calling them up to the podium one by one, presenting the badges and recognizing them. So first will be Steve Allaire. Steve Allaire is, or was, a lieutenant in the Detective Bureau. I think he's the 5th commander that I've had since I've been chief as a detective captain. He's done an excellent job, and it gives me great pleasure to promote him to captain of police. The next officer was Lieutenant Joe Gertz. Joe has been a long-time lieutenant, serving on the day shift in patrol. And with his promotion, my understanding is that soon-to-be Chief Meyer is going to assign him to the entire patrol division. So Joe, we certainly wish you the best of luck in that position. Captain promotion is for Glenn Clayton. Glenn probably the most hated guy in the police department. Just kidding. But he's in charge. He's my commander of the Office of Professional Standards, which is an extremely difficult job to do. You know, policing the police. You know, making sure that the police officers are up to standards, whether it be the way they dress, the way they act, their demeanor, and we do get occasional complaints, and we are able to police our own and hold our heads high because of Glenn and the terrific job that he does. Like I said, it's a very difficult job to do, and he does it extremely well, and I'm very proud to give him his captain's badge. Now we'll move on to the lieutenant's promotion. The first lieutenant's promotion is William Butterworth. Bill has served as a sergeant for quite a few years. Most recently, he's been assigned to the traffic and safety unit, and has just done a fantastic job there. So my understanding is he'll soon be going to the patrol division, and I'm sure he'll do an excellent job there as well. The next lieutenant promotion is Gregory Stafford Smith. Greg has worked in patrol. He has worked in the Detective Bureau and has just done an outstanding job there, assisting the commander, Steve Allaire, and it's my understanding he'll be the new commander of the Detective Bureau, which is a very, very difficult job, and I'm sure Greg will be up to the task. The last lieutenant's promotion is Rob DeSimone. I can't say enough about Rob. He's been sort of my right-hand man as far as intelligence. He's our intelligence officer. He's in charge of, he's our liaison to Homeland Security. He's worked extensively with the schools in Lakewood. Anytime where we have an issue with Homeland Security, Rob has been right there to liaison and bring his expertise to help any organization in Lakewood to increase their ability to withstand an attack. And he's just done a fantastic job. He fixes my computer every time I mess it up. He's the one that fixes it for me. So Rob. Okay, last but not least, we have one promotion to sergeant, Steve Kalusak. I can say a lot about Steve, but I won't. When Steve graduated from the police academy, he got a very special badge from me that maybe he'll show you sometime. We're going to give him a real sergeant's badge. But Steve has had an interesting career here at the police department. He started off in patrol, went to the Detective Bureau, worked there in street crimes for years, then ultimately went back to patrol. And in recent years, because of his expertise, we brought him back to the Detective Bureau. And he's made a lot of arrests, he's done a lot of great work, got a lot of drug dealers off the street, and I'm very, very happy to promote Steve to sergeant. So just a few words in closing. I would like to thank the entire township committee. A lot of chiefs bang heads with their township committee. I've been so fortunate to have really good members of the committee. Ray and I didn't start off too good, but we became very good friends, and he's one of my biggest supporters, and I vent to Ray on occasion when I'm really upset about things, and he's there with his wisdom and really guides me, and it's been a tremendous asset to me. Mike D'Elia, I've known Mike longer than I've been on the police department. Mike's been a good friend, a sounding board to me, and I really appreciate his words of wisdom too. Mayor Lichtenstein. Mayor Lichtenstein has been my liaison for quite a few years now, and he's actually liaison to all of emergency services. Captain of Hatzola has a very good knowledge of the workings, not only the police department, but the Office of Emergency Management. And I'm so grateful to have Mayor in my corner to advocate for various resources for the police department. So thank you, Mayor. Deputy Mayor Ackerman, or as I like to call him, Mayor for Life. Isaac, I appreciate your counsel, except when you're mayor and you say, cut the budget, let the next guy worry about it. So, but it was lagging, so it's okay. So thank you, Isaac, for always being there for a word. And Mayor Miller. Mayor Miller, a true friend, a person I call Mishbuka, which in Yiddish means family. Manash has always been there, no matter what the problem, what the issue. I can call him up, and he will give me counsel, give me advice, and he's never steered me wrong. So a good friend, and thank you so much, Manash. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our honorable township attorney, Steve Seek here. Without a doubt, the person that he's my first call whenever I have an issue, and I have the luxury of time to make a decision, and it's a legal question. If he doesn't pick up the phone, he gets back to me usually within minutes. And Steve, your invaluable assistance, much appreciated throughout my entire tenure as chief. Thank you so much. As I said, this is really bittersweet. After 35 years in the police department, almost 10 as chief, we've had our ups, we've had our downs. 2 officers murdered. We had the incident on Mackenzie Court where we made entry for another agency and ended up having officers wounded. Captain Myers, going to be Chief Meyer, was shot in that incident, as was John Wilson. John Wilson, you here? Stand up. The sacrifice that you made, and I tried to get John to stay, but his wife had other plans for him, and we certainly always wish John the best. He's part of the family, and he's a brother, and he always will be. Besides John, also Lou Sasso. He was also took a bullet. Fortunately, his body armor stopped the bullet. So we lost really ultimately 2 good officers that day, with John leaving. And also Jason DeFoot sustained a serious injury which led him to retire also. So it's been a great career. I thank you and the Township Committee for letting me be of service to the town. I gave it my best, my heart and soul, and I'm sure Captain, soon to be Chief Meyer, will carry on the tradition and serve the township as proudly as I did. Thank you.
Congratulations to all of you that were promoted this evening. Truly deserving of it. We don't live in a bubble. We work together as a team, as a group, and it's together with your peers that you've rose in the ranks to where you are today. You're going into leadership positions now. Being a leader is obviously the textbook leadership, which is exactly doing as told, moving it down to rank and file. Then there's the spirit of the law, the spirit of leadership, which is knowing the community, understanding the community, understanding what needs to be done, and getting that job done. So congratulations to you, congratulations to your families that are here today to support you, and congratulations to Lakewood for having such fine people lead us in this leadership capacity. Chief Rob, fondly referred to as Rob, this is very hard for me. I got to know you all the years I'm on the Township Committee. We met the year actually, we were introduced by Reverend Shankolevsky the year before I got on the Township Committee. This goes back 14 years. And we're out your entire time being in the Lakewood Police Department. I think I got to know you when you were a lieutenant, Lieutenant Lawson, and you were captain, and the chief. You were so helpful to me every step of the way with your knowledge in government, your knowledge in being involved in municipal government. It was tremendous support and tremendous help, both on a professional level and a friendly level. Every now and then when a question would come up, you sat me down instead of just me sitting up here and saying yes, no. I have no knowledge, I have no details. Anyone can stick a stethoscope around the neck and look like a doctor, but it's the knowledge that's behind it. Just sitting in this chair over here to be able to say X off, no cars, no this, no that, isn't the right thing. And it's the knowledge of knowing what you need it for, how many do you need, what's the purpose of it, and I so much appreciate it. You sitting me down and explaining to me what every step of the way is. I'll never forget, I was walking back together with Honorable Ray Coles. We were walking back from the funeral, of Presley's funeral. We were walking back, we were coming up, two officers had given us the cars here ready to drive us all back. And I think my colleagues went back by car. But Committeeman Coles and myself, we walked back together. We were reflecting on the scenario, the situation. And Ray Coles turned to me and says, life is too short. Life is too short. We're going to get along great. So myself, the chief of the police department. And that's what it was. It was that inspiring moment coming back from the funeral as we were going together up Clifton Avenue. And I'll never forget it. It's something which sticks by me. And your friendship and your leadership and your camaraderie throughout the years is truly, truly special to me. And in closing, I just want to end off with a special presentation. If I could ask my intern in the mayor's office to please come forward with a presentable item. It's not a plaque yet because, Chief, you're here all the way until the end, and I'm not giving that plaque 1 minute early. Being in the military, I know that we have this thing called road. Retired on active duty. We start wheeling me out with 6 months in advance, but I know you'll be here at the very last minute. Jan, please meet me at the podium.
As my colleague, Committeeman Lichtenstein, had mentioned, the men in the service, the men and women that are here are not here alone. They have spouses, they have family, there are people that work with them. There's a parable analogy which was said to me in the past. I heard this from a general over in the United States Air Force. In life in general, we're juggling balls. We have our responsibilities. We have family, we have business, we have all our responsibilities. Some of those responsibilities are glass balls, and some of those responsibilities are rubber balls. And every now and then, one of the balls we're juggling falls. Make sure in life it's never a glass ball. A rubber ball will bounce and come back up. A glass ball is family, and you never drop family. Jan, on behalf of Lakewood Township, myself, my family, we want to thank you for standing by Rob and standing by our department for all these years. Coming here every year, January 1st, never missed the reorg meeting. Always been here for every single promotion. Yehuda, if you could please come forward and present the flowers to Jan. Thank you so much.
Everyone again, we have at the Strand Theater right now across the street. There'll be a celebration for everyone together. We'll be there shortly, but please make your way. We're going to take a few-minute break right now so everyone can make their way over to the stadium, to the theater.